What's going on YouTube? JT Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic reviews. And in this video, we're talking about House of Brainiac Part 6, also known as Superman issue number 15. This is the conclusion to the House of Brainiac event. Obviously, we're going to go into the next issues of Superman, which are going to tie into the whole absolute power thing. So I feel like that absolute power kind of undercuts some of the impact of House of Brainiac. But as a 6th issue, well, technically, I guess, if you count that other Superman special issue, and then I guess there's various tie-ins into it, which I didn't bother reading because I don't feel like you really need to. House of Brainiac, at least the core, 6 issues, 6.5, I guess, were actually pretty good overall. It was nice to see Brainiac kind of at the forefront of something. There's some good character development for Lex Luthor in particular. I think, like I said, he's the one who has the most interesting story going on here, especially him and Lena. There's actually a genuine selflessness from him, which is kind of surprising because I'm always waiting for Luthor to kind of even I'm at that, I'm kind of in Superman's shoes. There's a very uneasy trust with Lex Luthor given all he's done in the past, and he's done things where he's kind of turned good, but then he kind of goes back to reverting to his evil self and such. So to see him do something genuinely really selfless like this is kind of surprising. I mean, I've seen it beforehand, even in the animated Justice League Unlimited series. That's one of the prime examples where he does something to ultimately stop Darkseid, and you never do see him again, but it is kind of a really cool moment. So basically, the Brainiac hive ship is pretty much on the path to destruction. Lex Luthor has a means to stop Brainiac once and for all by attacking the one thing that is his strength, and that's his brain. But it's going to come at a cost. He kind of puts himself in harm's way instead of letting his daughter do it, because it would ultimately try to kill her. Luthor's done some pretty bad stuff in the past, of course, but this is genuinely a nice selfless moment from him, and he's doing this to kind of delete Brainiac's whole entire hive mind. And yeah, he has access to all this knowledge and this power, which he would have liked years ago, but there's kind of more important things going on here. So he basically puts his health in harm's way, and Brainiac's knowledge, where it was at 100% capacity, is gradually depleting over time. And Lex Luthor's gonna have to face some repercussions for what he just did, but it is a genuinely selfless moment for him, and it kind of fries his brain, as we'll find out later on. Then of course the big epic battles between Brainiac and Superman. Brainiac's actually experiencing what we, all these different emotions at once. Anger, sadness, all these different things are kind of clouding him because he's been glitching right crazy. And Superman tells him that's life. You learn to share it with the people you love, to connect, and not try to be a whole burden all by yourself. And Brainiac is coming to this crazy realization about kind of it's all about kind of connecting with, your various emotions, the people and all that. Despite all his needs for constant knowledge and power, it's never going to be fulfilling enough unless you can kind of share things with others and such. So anyway, so Brainiac basically meets his end, and seemingly there's no trace of him left. The Brainiac Queen was his big creation to kind of pass that on to the next generation because he knows he's dying. But ultimately kind of meets its explosive end. Will that truly ever be the last we see of Brainiac? I'm sure a piece of him will exist somewhere and they bring him up at some point. But Cthulhu 2.0 is kind of built with the remnants of all the worlds that Brainiac kind of collected. Lobo decides to go there to kind of cause some chaos. Everyone kind of shows back up. Lois and Clark, they were kind of bummed that their one date got interrupted by this whole invasion angle with Brainiac and such. And the funny bit is Lex Luthor is there, and he doesn't remember who he is. His brain has basically been fried as a result of him trying to do the selfless thing. And even Superman's like, you know what, I'm actually proud of you, Luthor. And he doesn't remember a damn thing. So I'll be excited to see how they try to get Lex's memory back. But having Lex Luthor not knowing who he is, I think that could be kind of a fun story arc to explore different things. And of course, they tease some big monster getting ready to punch or something. Is this Doomsday or whatnot? I don't exactly know. But yeah, I thought the ending to House of Brainiac was, pretty interesting in that regards. My favorite aspect, of course, being the whole selflessness of Lex Luthor. There's some fantastic looking artwork in this issue, just kind of sprinkled in throughout this whole event, actually. And it ended, there's a few things that felt a little hiccups here and there, but all things considered, I thought this was an actually good event. Now, I didn't read every single time because I'm at that point now with DC and their events where they've just overdone it so much where I don't feel like I need to spend the money to read every single time because a lot of them don't really feel like they have much meaning. But the core 6 issues, I guess kind of 7 if you count that House of Brainiac special, part 2.5 were all like genuinely like pretty solid overall. Like I said, the best aspect of this issue to me was the character development for Lex Luthor and him actually having doing something very selfless for the greater good. That actually like really worked, I thought. And having him now have some amnesia, and now you have like a new planet built out like there with, you know, Kalu 2.0. It was good. It wrapped itself up nice and neatly. This is the first event run by Williamson in quite a while that I've really liked, because I didn't really care much for Night Terrors or Dark Crisis, but I think him on Superman's been actually pretty good, and I know he's going to be leaving some other titles to just kind of focus on other things, and, you know, as long as he stays on Superman, keeps the quality up, I'll be all for it. So, yeah, it'll be bummed to see him leave, you know, writing Damian and, you know, some of the other characters, but if he can keep the quality up on Superman, I think we'll be okay. Just hope whoever takes over those other books does a good job. But, yeah, I actually really enjoyed House of Brainiac. I thought it was a really solid event. Surprisingly, that's weird for me to say that out loud. I thought they did pretty well. I thought, you know, they did a good job with the landing overall. And I'm excited to see what happens next with the Superman title, especially with Lex Luthor not having, like, any memory and having amnesia. Like, will he even be a factor in, like, absolute power? Will he gain his memory back? Will the whole good nature of him just be kind of thrown away? That's a little concern of mine, because we've kind of had Luthor, like, turn for good and then kind of help people, then he kind of reverts back to evil. I remember You're the Villain and such. But will he stay good? I mean, he did something, he basically sacrificed and put himself on the line for the sake of his daughter, and that actually came from a place of genuine love, it seemed like. So you always kind of want to wait for that moment where Lex Luthor has just like been playing everyone the whole time, but this is the first time where I actually feel like a genuine need to do better. So that's my main takeaway from it. What did you think of Superman issue number 15? What do you think of House of Brainiac as a whole? Superman, it's been really good under like Williamson's writing. I think Superman's been like the strongest thing he's really written in quite a while. So I'm enjoying it. So, all right, well, that's all I really have to say about this particular issue and this event as a whole. Next up, we're going to be talking about Absolute Power, Green Arrow, Detective Comics, and all that other stuff. I'll probably get like 1 or 2 more videos recorded. I need to like kind of go back and like reread like Detective and probably Green Arrow and like Absolute Power and such, because like the first like kind of like prelude thing of Absolute Power has been released today. So we'll talk about some of that stuff, but I want to kind of get House of Brainiac done because that was kind of the big one for the day, and maybe I'll save the rest for tomorrow. So all right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.